Saucy, you a genius.
Look, we're stuck in the system, we can't get out. It's time for a change, stop running your mouth. I'm looking for words, but I can't get it out. Look for the light, but the sun blotted out.
Hold on, let me hop on the beat. Cause social injustice and prisoner mindset is something we gotta defeat. We idle these hoes and wear all these clothes with shoes that can't be creased. Steady looking for substance and change, but we searching all up in these streets.
Got a stain on my shirt that I can't get out. My people on high like the top of the mount. We thirsting for truth, but there's no spout. Look for a savior, but no one around.
But no one's around, but where do they look? It ain't in the church, it ain't in the book. We can't get a job, so we rather crook. They got us in chains, a fish on a hook.
Look, harvesting not bodies, harvesting not organs. Got them real big mad.
Cause it culture boring.
Hello. Welcome to another Macca Make a Culture Move podcast, where here we cover everything from intense social topics to funny social trends. All right, we are your hosts, Mark Jonathan,
Tabitha,
G.
and as always, we have a great podcast for you all today. But before we get started, if we could have our brief disclaimer.
So, here at the Macam Podcast, we cover a lot of controversial topics that do not represent Macam as a whole. So as we dive into this very controversial, I'm just going to say it's going to be controversial podcast, we just want y'all to keep that in mind and not hold Macam accountable for the things that are expressed here.
100%. So with that being said, we can go ahead and start into the controversy. I'm ready.
All right, so today we're gonna be. I'm gonna be talking about cultural appropriation. I think G's gonna be touching on it as well. For me, I have a woman was talking about how the Kardashians, and this is kind of like an old thing because the Kardashians been, riding the cultural appropriation wave. Kim got a big butt. Big lips. Her sister got these lips and lip injections. They be praying and going after black men. So it's not something that's, it's not something that's new. It's not new at all. But the fact that attention is being drawn back to it in 2021, let's talk about that. I mean, that's in my mind, my mind. I think that this is crazy. We're still talking about this, and it's 2021. So I don't know if any of y'all got anything to say about that per se. Anybody?
I'm not a Kardashian fan. They appropriate the whole entire culture. So yeah. I'm ready to get into it.
All right. So this sister right here, she calling them out.
Okay.
She calling them out. It says Summer Walker blasts Kardashians, accusing them of cultural appropriation. So this is
Summer Walker with anxiety and stage fright.
That sister right there. That's her.
All right.
So this was January the 10th, 2021. I don't know why I said 2001.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday at I don't know what time it is. It was late though. So the Girl Needs Love singer just shared a meme on social media which features a picture of Kim and Kylie, where both reality stars are touching their own faces, which shows the contrast between their skin color and skin tone on their face makeup. The difference in color between their hands and their face, the meme reads, but after a swift reaction from fans, Summer appeared to backtrack a bit, explaining she was talking about society as a whole. See the photo below. Dun, dun, dun.
The photo. Whoa.
So y'all, I'm like, I get what she's saying. The difference in color between their hands and their faces. They be putting on hella dark makeup, but they white.
Hell ass.
Huh?
Just to add on to that, I think she also said like she went in like on like everybody as a whole. Like she was saying, white girls are trying to be darker, black girls are trying to be more light, the fat girls are trying to be skinny, and then the skinny girls are trying to get thick. Like she was just basically going off. And it does speak a lot to, oh yeah, there you go right there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she spoke a lot about what we see a lot in today's community. A lot of people are like look into things like media and how other people looks, and then base that off of, oh, okay, this is how I'm supposed to look as well. So I don't think she should have backtracked. I mean, because it's facts. She touched on some facts, plain and simple.
So I'm gonna say this for example, for just for me, I think it's like hypocrisy in a way, because you got the sister. Yes, she's talking about Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian being culture vultures and doing the whole cultural appropriation thing. But yeah, and still she has on a pink wig that's long, goes down to her butt. That's not the texture of her own natural hair. You know what I'm saying? So how much more cultural appropriation is that? It's like black people can take the things that they want from white women, such as, putting on makeup to make their nose look thin, have the long hair and talk like this, like da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? But that's not cultural appropriation. But when a white woman does what we do, with the cornrows and I've seen a white girl one time at the university that had on a head wrap, and I was like, okay. So, I think that it's crazy how we can hold them accountable for cultural appropriation, but we don't hold ourselves accountable at all. And that's some hypocrisy right there. That's hypocrisy. That's hypocritical.
I don't think you can appropriate white culture because white people don't have a culture. They don't have a culture at all. So you can't really appropriate anything in that area. As far when it comes to, like the Kardashians and other white women of that nature. See, because people tend to forget that the Kardashians are even white.
They're white.
Like society tends to forget that huge fact. It's not an opinion. It's not something that I just want to say. It's a fact. These are white women. And people tend to forget that. And they appropriate our culture in every way possible, from dating our men to the way they dress and the way they look. If you look at Kim Kardashian and you look at her, you go look at some of her photos, she appropriates almost every black woman who has made a name for herself, her style and what she wears. She's appropriated Beyonce. She's appropriated Erykah Badu. She's appropriated Lauryn Hill. Like, you go and look at her style and how she dresses and what she does. She appropriates our women all the way through. And not only does she appropriate it, she's backed. She's back. She has support to appropriate our culture. She has support to do it. Her fans support her doing it. Her husband is black. Her husband, who was one of the most iconic black living legends in the world, backed her just by being her husband. He has lost so much credibility in the black community just by being her husband. He is no longer Kanye West. He is Kanye Kardashian. Kim K shaped like an ant. Like, come on now. Like, you don't even have any body structure to you, but it's like you appropriate our women. You make your breasts bigger. You make your boobs bigger. You fix your nose and your skin tone and all of that shit. And it's just like, I don't know. For me, it all comes down to, because like what Summer Walker was saying, it comes down to, you have to love yourself. You have to love the skin that you are in. That's me speaking to like our black women. I don't give a damn about how white women feel about themselves. I don't. But to our black and brown and Latina and Mexican and Native American women, you have to love the skin that you're in. You don't have to go out here looking like anybody else. Nobody else. One, because melanated skin is the most beautiful skin above any. if you have melanin in you, you're automatically beautiful. Automatically. You don't need the foundation to make you look lighter or darker for that matter. If you're a light-skinned Black woman, be a light-skinned Black woman and be proud of that. If you're a dark-skinned Black woman, be a dark-skinned Black woman, be proud of that. Be proud of the skin that you are in. Don't feel like you have to go and look like the next person, because I guarantee you there's something about themselves that you're trying to look like them and they don't even like how they look. You out here trying to look like somebody else and they don't even like how they look. Black women want to look like white women when white women don't like how they look. That's why they're always trying to look like us.
I want to say this though. I want to say this because there was like a point, there was something that you said that I don't necessarily agree with, because I agree with everything else though. When you said that white women don't have a culture, I disagree, because the thing is, whiteness, there's this whole phenomenality of whiteness in society today. What does it mean to be white? And whatever it means to be white, Black people try to get on that wave as much as they can to have the freedoms, the privileges that white people have in American society. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we culturally appropriate ourselves. We code switch, which is also cultural appropriation. When we go to apply for a job, we had that whole podcast where we were talking about hairstyles that are too Black for the workplace. And because we try to excel in society, there's people of color that have naturally straight hair. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you go buy another nation's hair and sew it into your head and it's a whole nother color than what your natural hair is, like, that's cultural appropriation in my mind. That's what cultural appropriation is. And I want to get the definition of cultural appropriation so that we can get that. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. But white people, they don't have a culture. Everything that they have and that they've developed and that what they're trying to create now today, they stole from somebody else. They don't have any originality about them whatsoever. None. So it's like, and I hear what you're saying, when the code switching and the way we present ourselves in corporate America. I don't really see that as cultural appropriation, though. I see that as corporate appropriation, and professionalism.
Or just professionalism, yeah.
Professional appropriation, because, as Phil always says, with us dealing with MACA, just because we may be, a couple of minutes late or whatever, doesn't mean I'm not going to come and give my full capacity. I'm going to work my ass off every time, and that's Black professionalism. I might be late a little bit, but I'm gonna work my ass off because I'm a hard worker. And white cultural and white corporate world, you can't be late. They don't care if you're gonna work your ass off or not. It's unprofessional to be late. So it's like I hear what you're saying, but white people don't have a culture. They don't have a culture.
And I see where y'all are coming from by saying, they've stolen they've stolen other people's culture and have utilized it for themselves. But I'm just saying, as far as certain things about us that we have that are original to us and to our people and to our ancestors and things like that, we need to stay true to what that is, because when we start to deviate from that, it does look like cultural appropriation. It does look that way. Like, for instance, like I said, with the weaving stuff and the long, luxurious straight hair, we never, other than Hispanic Native Americans, we've never had straight hair. Never. None of our ancestors naturally had straight hair that are so-called American Black slaves. None of them had straight hair. They had woolly hair that looked like cotton that they were picking off the field. That's what their hair looked like.
I would say silky straight hair, because you look to our Native Americans and Africans, they are straight hair, but it's woolly straight hair. It's not that silky straight hair like white women have, but it's that woolly straight hair. Black women's hair. You look at our women in other countries or whatever. Their hair goes down to their feet and their ass and stuff, and it can be straight, but it's not that silky straight hair. Like when Black women go to the hair salon, they want that silky press. That's not natural for Black women. We don't have a silky straightness to our hair. We have a silky curl. Black women's hair can be naturally silky curly, but that silky straight, that doesn't belong to us. We can have straight hair though, but it's that woolly straight. And Tabitha's completely straight, right about that. We don't have that silky straight. That's not us, but that woolly, it can be straight, but it's woolly. You're not gonna be able to just come down with your hand through the hair. It's gonna get stuck at some point. It's gonna get stuck a bit at some point because it's woolly. That's who we are as a culture.
I also think it's important to acknowledge like what we mean by culture, because what I mean is like not necessarily tradition, but it's as simple as like, what's a good example? Like okay, I hate using this example because of the association, but when that Catch Me Outside girl, right, when she first hit the stage on Dr. Phil, you feel me? Everybody was saying she was acting Black. Why? Because she had an attitude. You feel me? Or she was talking however Black people are supposed to talk or whatever. But like, I feel like what G's kind of saying is because they have no real like way of doing something that they originated other than raping, killing, enslaving, terrorizing, anything like that. It's really like what culture or tradition do y'all have? Like, what do y'all really bring to the table that y'all invented, originated, that type of stuff? Yeah. And Gadiel.
I just want to point out that Gadiel said earlier. Here it goes. Here goes the comment. Black women buy only brown and Black baby dolls for your young girls. Teach our kids to love us. And do that. Buy your babies Black baby dolls. Buy them Black baby dolls. We have one white baby doll in my house right now, and it was a gift. And the only reason why it didn't get re-gift is because my sister opened it before we could, get it out of her grasp. But she has all Black babies. And when I say every time my niece comes over, my sister is trying to pass off the white Barbie doll to her, and my niece is trying to they be fight like, I don't want that. They just don't want it because we have Black baby dolls. That's what they're used to playing with. That's what we buy for them. It's Black baby dolls. And that's what we do. You have to teach your babies to see beauty in them. You buy them Black baby dolls, you're teaching them to take care of their baby dolls. That's teaching them to take care of themselves. They see that baby doll as they view themselves. How are they going to see a white baby doll how they see themselves? We don't look alike. We don't relate. So I don't have blonde hair, blue eyes.
But that's the thing. You may not have blonde hair, blue eyes, but guess what Black people do? They go out and buy blonde hair. And they
blue contacts.
So we might not naturally have blonde hair and blue eyes, but we damn sure go buy it and say, it's my hair. I got the receipt. It belongs to me. I own it. Like, I'm just like, and I've heard Black people say that so many times. I'm just like, you know what? I can't even argue with you because you did buy it and it is yours. But I mean, really, like, do you really love yourself? I think that comes from that's the deeper question. Like, do you love yourself? How can you say you love yourself when you strive to look like something that it does not resemble you at all? And that's kind of what I was trying to talk about before. It may not be quote unquote cultural appropriation, but it still feels the same to me. It still feels the same to me. Whatever culture that white people have, and I guess the one thing that I can name that is a part of white culture is they cannot stand. They hate Black people. They hate Black people, and that's the thing. Us, we assimilate to that thing because a lot of us can't stand us. That hatred that they used to have for us when they used to lynch us and stuff, it got to a point where the Klan doesn't have to do that anymore. They do that to us anymore. We do that to each other. So. There's no self-love amongst Black people. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. We don't love ourselves. So how can we love somebody that looks like us?
Yeah, it does boil down to, we have to love ourselves. You have to love the skin that you're in. You have to be proud of it. And when I say proud of it, I mean, it doesn't matter what blemishes you have or what, ugly phase you're going through. Be proud of the skin that you were in. Be unique to you.
We
It
all
doesn't matter how else the world. See, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but beauty is not about your looks. It's about your soul, your characteristics and your personality. How do you treat people? How are you viewed? Are you a loving person? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Is the glass always halfway empty with you, or is it halfway full? Your looks has nothing to do with how beautiful you are. I'm gonna leave that there because I could go in on that one.
I don't know if Mark has anything to say about that, but I just have one small thing. Beauty is vain. It's so vain.
I mean, no, I'm pretty much good. I definitely just wow. I mean, I'm curious to know what's y'all's definition of culture before we talk about its appropriation.
So a culture, in my opinion, is the elements and identity of people and people in a group of people. For instance, like Black culture, that's the identity and what our uniqueness and what makes us us. Like it's that's our culture. It's the identity of the Black community. Our culture. Unfortunately, right now, our culture is toxic, and we all know that. But before this toxicity, let's say like maybe in like the 70s or the 60s, when it was all about Black love and Black empowerment, we're trying to reclaim our identity and reclaim our culture. Black culture was afros. Black culture was, the Black family structure. And I guess that poses a question I'll ask a little bit after this, but can you maintain culture? Can you maintain your identity and your Black culture and date outside of your race?
We talk about that often. Culture for me, it's the art or the customs. It's the similarities that bring a group of people together. The things that the trials and triumphs. It's the art of our lifestyles. It's the art of our lifestyles and what we do, which includes the way we dress, the foods that we cook, the way that we cook our foods, it's our hair, it's how our hair is truly a part of our hygiene. It's all that's the music we listen to, it's our slang and our lingo, it's the way we move about in our world.
Okay. Mark,
I'm ready to get into that question.
what question?
But you guys, can you still, hold true to your culture and date outside of your race at the same time?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, you cannot. You cannot. No. There comes to a point where you have to compromise your beliefs and your values, and you have to kind of like assimilate in a sense. When a Black man is dating a white woman, the white woman is teaching the children, because guess what? The Black man's supposed to be the go-getter. He's supposed to be the man out there, providing a living for the family. And so what does that leave you with? That leaves you with a person that is that does have no that does not have your identity, a person that, really doesn't really like doesn't like Black people, at home with your Black children, teaching them, their customs, teaching them what they understand Blackness to be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids that have white moms and Black dads, they struggle with their own cultural and racial identity because of, interracial marriage. And that interracial anything. You cannot hold true to your culture and date outside of your race. Who you sleep with is whose agenda you're on. When you sleeping with a white man, you're on a white man's agenda. When you sleeping with a Black man, you're for Black power because you're about that family unit and what you're building. You cannot sleep white and talk black. It just don't work. It don't work.
Okay, so my bad.
If you do that.
Okay, so the way I always, Mark, if you dating an Asian woman, the woman will teach your kids everything Asian. It don't work. Okay, so the way I always answer this question is, I'm all for the black preservation. And what that means for me is black continuance. So to just answer it, just like plain and simple for me, it's like if I want to continue and sustain and then eventually empower and uplift, then of course I can't date outside my race because that's hypocritical. You feel me? So I always just answer the question like that. I don't really see, I don't know. I know that's real basic, but
I don't want a black man that's been with a white woman. And that's me. Yeah, I don't want a black man that's been with a white woman. That's
real.
And I say that all the time, you know, like seriously, like one of the questions when I'm dealing with dudes, I ask them, do you date white women? Plain and simple. Do you date white women? If the answer is yes, cool. I'm gonna leave you where I met you, right where you at. If the answer is no, cool. Why? Because I don't care why you date white women. Whatever reason you date white women for, that's your personal dilemma, and you need to talk to God about that and figure out that issue. That ain't got nothing to do with me, and it's not going to have anything to do with me because we can't connect on that level. You will never be able to fully satisfy me as a black man if you give satisfaction to white women in any way that you should be giving it to only black queens.
Does that include Hispanics?
No.
Tabitha?
I'm okay.
But I don't date Hispanics.
I've definitely because in the past I have dealt with, you know, my Caucasian counterparts, you know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say, because my very first relationship ever was with a black man, you know what I'm saying? And like going from that to dating a white man, because you know trauma happens. I'm like, maybe my life would be better. I'm just so hurt. It'll be better if I dated a white man. And you know, I can honestly say that there is a big difference. Like stuff that you shouldn't have to explain, you have to explain when you're with a white man. And I used to always, even when I was dating white men, when I used to see a black man with a white woman, I would be like I would be giving them the up down. You know what I'm saying?
Look, let me give y'all this example. So
and I'm sure they gave me the same look. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what the hell?
Exactly. So I watched Tyler Perry's Sisters or whatever, and one of the characters, she, you know, is involving herself with a white dude. And there was this scene, it was a little sexual scene, y'all, but he had handcuffed her to the bed, and she needed to use the bathroom. She kept telling him like he was standing over her, and you know, she was handcuffed, and she kept saying like, unlock me. I need to use the bathroom and unlock me. Like, this is not cool. And so he said to her, beg me, gal, and it set her off. Right, it set her off, having this white man stand over her while she's chained up to her bed. She has to use the bathroom, and he says, "Beg me, gal." It set her off, and he didn't understand why it set her off. I don't want to have to explain no shit like that to you. I just don't. I don't want to have to explain no shit like that to you. And white people, they don't understand. You have to explain shit to them. You have to break it down. If I have to wake up and explain to you, or if I have to explain to you why I'm tying my hair down at night, why I gotta have a scarf and a bonnet on so that the oils don't move out of my hair, because black people have natural hair oils in their head. That's why we don't have to wash our hair every day, white people. We don't have to wash our hair every day. We just don't. Okay, we have oils in our hair naturally. There's just so many things that I just don't want to have to explain to my white counterpart. There's certain things I don't want to have to explain. Unnecessary.
Why I'm nervous around cops.
Yeah, you know, like
all that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And So I've dated like mixed dudes where it's like, their mom's white and their dad's black. And I'd be thinking about that all the time, like, because I ain't like y'all's moms. If y'all are watching this, to the two that I've been talked to before, I didn't like your moms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be so honest about it. And me personally, when I do end up with somebody, it is very important to me that their family likes me as much as I like them. I don't want to, be married into a family where his family doesn't like me. You know how awkward that is to be dealing with somebody and their family doesn't like you, and it's ugly, rude comments and stuff every time the family gets together. I don't. And dealing with white people, how am I going to know your entire family is okay with this? You have to tell. I'm going to ask you, did you tell them I'm black? And if you didn't, I'm going to be like, why? Why you didn't tell them I'm black? Do they know I'm black? Do they know you're bringing a black woman in here? Not only a black woman, but I talk loud sometimes. I talk out loud sometimes. I don't say everything in my head sometimes. Those of y'all who know me know I have 2 Facebook pages.
You talk to yourself.
Reason.
I was just about
I talk
to say.
to myself out loud. Because if I say everything in my head, it's gonna explode. So I just say stuff sometimes. And I'm one of those black people who say at random times, sometimes, that's that white people shit. And I say it all the time. I say it around white people. I do it all the time. That's that white people shit. Now, how is that going to make me look? And I'm dealing, my husband's white and we're around his family for whatever reason. And they do some white people shit. And here I go sitting on my high horse. That's that white people shit. They're going to hang me. They're going to want to hang me. And so, no, I don't want to deal with none of that. I just, no. I don't even want to. They're going to ask, what did Gadiel say? He is funny, y'all. He's been cracking me up all day, okay? He said they going to ask why you use washcloths. Like, stuff like that. I don't want to have to explain.
You go to their house and be like, can I get a little towel? And they'd be like, what you mean?
What?
What's that?
Wait, what do they use?
They don't wash their faces.
Soap and be like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's how I used to have, like, back before, like, I really, like, stopped dealing with white people. I used to have white friends, and it would always be awkward because when we would be driving to go to a party or something like that, they'll be playing their little rock music. I'll be in the backseat, like, whatever. I could just, do a couple nods here and there. But then when you go back to their house to take a shower, they give you, like, there's a bar of soap. I'm like, do you guys have, like, the little towel? No, they don't. You take the bar of soap and you just rub it on your skin and you get clean like that. But yeah, all this is said to say, it's hard to keep your culture intact. This is my summary. You cannot keep your culture intact when you date outside of your race. And again, we're all for the preservation of the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. So with that being said, you cannot preserve your community. You cannot preserve your identity by dealing with somebody outside of your race. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'm sorry, Gadiel kills me, y'all. Just to touch on his point, rock music was originated by Black people, not
appropriated.
Not alternative rock. That alternative rock belongs to white people, but rock music doesn't belong to Black people. And the next part of his thing, you only talked about why you trying to run
And this is when I was younger, okay? I was in high school. I was trying to figure myself out in my identity and who I am. Don't judge me.
No judgment passed.
Yes, I'm a new creature now. But we could go ahead and move on to this white boy saying nigga.
Y'all, do y'all see this video I seen this video on Twitter, and then I've just been seeing it every other place, Instagram, Facebook. So y'all, at this gas station, this white man was calling this Black man a nigga. Well, he was just saying nigga, like just comfortably, just saying nigga, and the Black man took offense. And the white man took offense that the Black man took offense. Let's watch this video, y'all. Let's just watch the video. I love the video. I hope y'all like the video.
I think they took the video down, though.
Oh, wow. Really?
Because all I see is, like, the thread. I don't see the actual video. They took the video down.
Oh, No, I got it here. Let me share my screen.
Share your screen.
Let me see.
But yes, y'all, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I definitely am not one to, not anymore. I see how like toxic that is for you to, I can't, I'm dreading going back to school because I do not want to be around, you know, I don't want to be around.
I'm gonna share with y'all one of the most craziest stories that took me out of character after we're finished watching this.
Okay.
Can y'all see?
Yes. Well done.
Stop sharing. All right. Yes, y'all. So how did that make you guys feel?
I mean, so oof. I mean, you could just see it how he was acting like he really thought like nobody would do nothing to him. And actually, Tabitha, I'll let you go because I want to tell my story after,
No,
unless you don't
no,
want.
tell your story. Tell your story.
Okay, so listen, right? So those who don't know, I did attend the University of Mesa, Colorado Mesa, and it's it's a WPI or PWI, predominantly white institution. And they got a whole lot of culture vultures up there. And one of the first parties that I went to up there, Kendrick was playing. And, it's that song that's like, man down, where you from? Nigga, this, that, and the third, right? So literally my first party up there at Mesa, right? I'm listening to this song, and then he's like, dude's next to me. Like I hear everybody else like basically like bleeping it out. But this dude next to me, he says the word. So, I try to be calm and I'm not nowhere near my area and I want to stay out of jail for the most part. But I'm like, bro, listen, like that ain't going cool. And you know what he said to me, bro?
What did you say?
He was like, we invented the word. Why can't we say it?
Damn.
And it took me out of character. I would be the first to say that. But I wish I had a twisted T because it probably would have been easier. But listen, that the people actually really think like that. But now I bet he won't say it, at least to me. You feel me? We on a podcast, we on a professional platform, so I won't really get into detail. But
You see, looking at your face, it seems like you reliving the situation.
bro, because like the audacity, like what do you mean you invented the word so you get to say it?
So, but my question is, because, Black people be like, well, we're reclaiming the word and we're trying to empower ourselves by saying nigga. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like anybody should say it because nobody should be able to capitalize off of our pain. Nobody should be able to say that word. There's so much trauma and so much history there. And I feel like we, we devalue ourselves when we say nigga. It's like me saying, calling a woman, black women will be the first one to be like, bitch, okay, that's my bitch or whatever. And I feel like that's not okay. You're not a female dog. I wasn't raised to be a nigga. The American Negro, the nigga today, that person was created here in America. That mentality, that person, all that was created here in America by slavery, systematic racism, the ghettos, the hoods, the slums, self-hatred, hatred for other people. So I don't think that we should be saying nigga, and we should not be saying bitch. Like, we should not be saying that. It's not okay. It's not okay. So yes, G, I know you're gonna go.
So with Mark's situation, have you guys seen the show Dear White People?
No, but I seen it on Netflix. I didn't watch it though.
So there is literally that exact situation happens to one of the black boys in the show. That they're at a party or whatever, the music is playing. Of course, the music that's being played is nigga, nigga, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. You feel me? It's played in the music. And one of the white boys says it, and the black dude tells him, like, hey, don't say that. And he's like, say what? You know what you said, don't say that. And they get into a little scuffle or whatever. The police gets caught, the police show up, and the police are only focused on the black boy. I mean, guns drawn and everything on him at the school party. And now with the police, when the police are there and the guns drawn, now the white people feel bad. Oh, this isn't what we wanted to happen from this. We didn't mean for the police to get here and for the guns to be drawn. And the black girl's white boyfriend is the one who called the police, thinking he was helping. The black girl's white boyfriend called the police while the black boy and the white boy were having an argument, thinking that his call to the police was going to help the black boy.
That just goes into what you was talking about, like not having to explain certain stuff.
Not having to explain, and then she had to turn around and explain to him how you weren't helping. You didn't help by calling the police, and now you got my black friends looking at me crazy. You got my black friends looking at me upside down, twisted and crazy because my white boyfriend called the police thinking he was going to help my black friend. When has the police ever helped us? So it's situation like that when it's crazy because they happen in real life. See, that was a TV show, but Mark's situation was real life. That was a real testimony. It was real happen. And it happens every day. And it's like, I definitely hear and get the fact, like, watching younger generations come up underneath me and stuff. Like my little brother, he's 10 years younger than me. And, I listen to how their generation use it or whatever. And it's like, honestly, we shouldn't be using the word. We shouldn't be because one, Black families, we're not teaching our children in the home what that word means, the history behind it, the trauma behind it. We're not teaching our children what that word means. And so like, again, another TV show example, in Blackish, right? The dad, Andre, he asks his kids, his daughter informs him that her friends use the word. She goes to a private school. Her friends are white. The dad is like, whoa, you let your friends say it? And she's like, it's in the music. It's all around us. They're not saying it to me. They're not saying it towards me or against me. They're saying it in the lyrics of the music. And I catch on to that and I pay attention to all of that. And I would give it about 97% of the music today uses the word nigga. 97% of our musical artists today use the word nigga in their songs. And it's not being the definition of the word, the history of the word, the traumatic PTSD attached to the word is not being taught in our homes. It's not being taught in our culture. It's not being taught in our communities. It's not being taught in our music. Like
I
our
got a
musical
question.
artists use it all the time, so it's just not being taught, and it's important. And it's like, and I hear Tabitha 100% when she says it's like I hear her. It's important that we are teaching that traumatic PTSD that is attached to the word. That's what we forget to add when talking about the word nigga, right? We the traumatic PTSD attached to it. So like, yeah, there are those of us who say that we're reclaiming it and we're redefining it to fit our cultural terms.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So, do you guys believe that there's a difference between nigga and nigger?
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
And
Well, not
absolutely,
really.
the hard R is blatant disrespect. The
Telling
A
you.
is plain disrespect. It's the difference between Trump and Biden. See, Trump
And
is
able
gonna
to
go
be
ahead and hit us
corrected.
with a nigger,
Okay.
you nigger, but Biden's gonna go ahead and hit us with that nigga because he thinks he's cool with us. He thinks we like him. He thinks he's on our side. So him thinking that he's on our side, it's okay for him to slang that nigger out. He can slang that nigger out and hit it with a nigga, because he's more accepted amongst black people, whereas Trump knows he's not accepted, don't give a damn that he's not accepted, he's gonna go ahead and hit it with a nigger. His blatant racism is right there. His face pours out racist, whereas Biden,
Right.
you have to peel the mask off to see the racist. Right?
Okay.
It's not up front in your face. You have to peel the mask off to see the racist. And that's how I feel about the difference between nigger and nigga. A racist, a blatant racist is gonna go ahead and nigger it out. A hidden racist is not.
I disagree to a certain extent, because if you know the origins of the word nigger, you just drop in the R. That's it. You just drop in the R. I feel like whenever it comes out of somebody's mouth, we know exactly what they mean, even though they're not saying it. If a white person says my nigga, if you think about that white dude that said nigga, he's like, you a nigga, da da da, nigga this, nigga that. Nigga, him calling that black dude a nigga, he heard the R whether or not he said the R or not.
That's what I'm saying. That's hidden racism. It's hidden
Right. So when black people say it, why do we not see that same difference?
I do see that same difference. Me personally, I always have to explain this to people, to black people, to people of color, period. Whenever I say nigga, I'm talking about a mentality. I'm not talking about my brother or sister that's just, people use it so casually. People use nigga so casually. Back in the day, way back in the day, when slavery was still in effect, they used to say nigger super casual. So casually that some black people thought that was actually their freaking name. So, and they thought that was like, that was the norm. And now nigga is the norm. They just dropped the R. There's no difference. And people be like, well, that's from the old word Najir. No, it's not from Najir. It's and it's always.
And when white people use the word nigger towards us, and nigger means I just lost my train of thought. The mindset of ignorance is the mindset of ignorance is what nigger means, you know. So that's how they viewed us. They viewed us as ignorant beings. They still view us as ignorant beings. They don't view us as having of education, connected to us or strapped to us. So
I gotta calm down, y'all. I'm sorry. I had a moment of me just kind of like getting upset because I really hate the word nigga and I really hate the word nigger. I've never really been the one to say nigga or nigger. And it's crazy because I could tell the difference in that, like in the beginning when I first started to talk to, Caucasians, you know what I'm saying? That the first one I did, he said nigga all the time. And it's crazy because his dad was an ex-KKK, a Klans member. And he said nigga. And at that time, I'm like, you're saying it to my face. I'm like, at the time, I didn't know how to react. I thought that at that time, I'm like, okay, this is normal. I don't know. But then the next person that I talked to, he was like, I'm not saying that word. No, absolutely not. I don't care if they say it in the song or not. I'm not saying it. I wish that our people were like that. I'm not saying it. I don't need to say it. I know the history and which is being said. So I just think that we just need to get it together. I don't think
we need to stop leaving out the post-traumatic slave syndrome attachment to the word nigga. You feel me? Like the attachment to it is so much more deep than even the meaning of it. You know, that attachment of it. Like, why are we holding on to it? Why do we feel like we have to hold on to the word nigga? Why? Like, why do we feel like we have to hold on to it? Why do we keep circulating? See, we talk about breaking generational curses all the time. Why is that not considered a generational curse?
It's definitely a generational curse.
And it's real easy to change.
See that.
Exactly. You could say king instead. You know, if we're using the word nigga to empower, then just call him king, call him royalty.
Exactly. It's very easy to change. The thing is, you have to be willing to change your vernacular. Like, okay, it's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you're gonna go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow and stop saying nigga.
For real, guys.
You're not. Okay, but it's like dropping a bad habit. You have to work at it and you have to want it. You have to work at it and you have to want it. So if you want to stop saying nigga and you want to empower your people, the people in your community better, work at it. Wake up every day and the men in your life, address them as king. Wake up every day and the women in your life, address them as queen. With the adolescents, address them as prince and princess.
Yeah,
teach them their worth and their who they are. Teach them that they are valuable. Teach them that we come from kings and queens.
But don't be a queen. Be a queen, but don't be a
queen. Exactly. Be a queen, but don't be a queen.
Queen with the A.
And then what that will do is it will stop the white people from saying it as well. Because now they can't hit us with, well, y'all call each other that, or wow, it's in the songs and stuff like that. Now they can't hit us with it. So now we get to hit them with twisted teas if they say it. It's that simple.
I'm a princess.
It's that simple.
And like switch it. Start calling white people nigga.
Hey, just so y'all know.
Calling your black people kings and queens.
Yeah, wigga.
And yeah, wigga. What's up, wigga?
Wigga. No, we're not gonna do wigga. But let me tell y'all, just so we're clear on here, my pronouns are princess and your majesty. So whenever you need to use a pronoun for me, don't ask me. It's princess and your majesty, and that's my new thing. You know what I'm saying? Because people be like she, her, and hers. That's something I shouldn't even have to explain. I'm a woman. Call me by my natural, quote unquote pronouns. But if you want to ask me what you gotta call me, you can call me princess and your majesty, okay? And I don't know how that's gonna make you feel.
I like that. And for me, I like your majesty, princess, your most high gangster. I like that as well. You call
it most high gangster. I've never
most high gangster. I'll take that also.
Y'all see my crown.
My G,
Y'all see my crown. My crown right here.
I died my crown.
Y'all see my crown. Y'all see my crown.
Y'all, like to sum up what we talked about, today on our podcast, just to sum up from the cultural appropriation and talking about the word nigga, the main thing is to love yourself, love the skin that you are in, because the sooner you love you and love the person you see in the mirror every single day when you wake up and you brush your teeth and wash your face with your small towel, love yourself. Love yourself. Love the skin that you are in. Love every inch of it, every curve, every scar and bruise that you have. Love everything about it. So that way you can go and distribute that love onto somebody else. Love somebody who looks like you. Love somebody who you needed to love you when you were younger. You feel me? You just have to. It's important. Like we can't. It's 2021. We can't continue being out here being mad at white people for appropriating our culture, but yet we don't love ourselves enough to stand firm in our culture.
Yeah,
We
do nothing
always
to
talking
change
about
it.
what white people do to appropriate our culture, but what are we doing to stand firm in our culture? That's what we have to do. We have to stand firm in it. We can't be lousy about it and lazy about our culture. That's not cool. We have to be proud of it. What James Brown say, I'm black and I'm proud every day. Every day. 365 days a year, 24/7. Every day.
25-8.
25/8.
You
Give
heard
myself
me?
an extra day and an extra hour and an extra day just to love me, just to love the people who look like me, to love the people who I know are still fighting and dealing with oppression all around me, to fight injustice, inequality, inequity, all of those things. So black and brown people, my Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinas, my Native Americans, all of us. It's time. It's 2021, y'all. It is damn time that we stop loving everybody else and start loving ourselves and building up our community for the better. That's all I got, y'all. That's all.
And on that note, we gonna say what you got, Mark, for next time. And
Okay.
and we just gonna cut it here because I want to give it the attention that it deserves. But with that, y'all, we gonna head up out this podcast. That was a good note to leave us off on. Thank you so much, G. As you guys see today on the podcast, I'm gonna sum us up today. Today on the podcast, we talked about cultural appropriation. From it's 2021, and yesterday, my sister was talking about how we need to hold Kim Kardashian and her little clan accountable for culturally appropriating Black culture. And I just think that that's something that we definitely need to do amongst all people, not just her. And then we got into G's topic about a white boy calling somebody a nigga with the gaga. So yes, and throw his small towel like a helicopter. Okay. So yes, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast. And with that, we say have a wonderful day and map them out there.
But before we let y'all go, please follow all of our social media platforms. That includes Facebook at Make a Culture Move and Make a Chess Move. Please follow us on Instagram at Macam303 and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look out for our virtual artist storytelling this week, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We have great guests as usual. Please tap in with us. And with that being said, y'all Mac them out there. We love y'all. Y'all Mac them out there.
Malcolm.
That green hat is